I'm Ed Clark with Watt Media, and I'm here today at the World Pork Expo with Soren and Ole Hansen with Hamlet Protein. And could you talk about the similarities between health and regulatory issues for both the human side and then the animal side of the food and animal business?
Sure. I mean, it's quite interesting what is happening these years as the food ingredient industry and the feed ingredient industry are actually getting closer, having more and more overlap. You can see it in many ways in the industry that there are major food ingredient producers who venture into feed ingredients, but you can also see it in many ways on a regulatory scale. You have very strict requirements for health claims on your products. You have that in food, you have that in feed. You think more forward in the feeding industry to think in terms of requirements of the food industry. So there's plenty of development between the two sectors the way we see it.
How do you see the GMO issue being played out?
Well, I think sooner or later the issue will go away, but certainly not for the next coming years. What is difficult to foresee is actually exactly when this is going to happen, because an important thing is on one side the consumer reactions and on the other side the supply side. It becomes more and more difficult to keep it segregated, which again will reflect in an increased premium to get the non-GM. So sooner or later it will become a problem.
And how does that affect you as a company?
Well, it doesn't really affect us. We are producers and we comply with customer demand, so we can supply non-GM or GM according to market demand.
Of course, you can say it forces us to have two processing lines where you could use one if you were just doing genetically modified products. We need to have two systems, and it does affect us on a planning and an execution scale. But
how is this going to affect the producers?
It is of course a complication from a production point of view to have two separate systems working. So it would make life easier if we could come back to, let's say, one type of raw materials.
Well, thank you very much.